Brandon Miller hasn't had the greatest start to Summer League, to say the least. 12 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game, 46.7, 44.7. 75 splits over the first 2 games is solid on the surface, but when you break it down, it really isn't great. A decent amount of his production in his 18-point debut was in garbage time, while he had just 6 points on 2 for 4 from the field in Game 2. Averaging 7.5 fouls per game because the Summer League limit is 10 fouls instead of the regular 6 we see in the NBA, which I think is absolutely ridiculous considering a regulation Summer League game is 8 less minutes than a regulation NBA game, and Miller has had ups and downs regardless, and a lot of the focus has been on the downs, which is natural considering the reaction to a top 3 pick struggling in Summer League. I want to give you guys my full thoughts on these 2 games and what it really tells me about Brandon Miller. This might shock you guys because I know I've been very critical of the opinion of Brandon Miller as a prospect throughout the cycle, but I watched those 2 games and the only problem I really have on tape with those 2 games is actually his lack of scoring aggression. I felt like he should demand the basketball more. I felt like he was content to just chill in the corner a bit too much at times. And we'll talk about the coaching later, and they're definitely a factor in this, but I do feel like Miller could be more assertive as an offensive player on the court. And considering what Miller projects to be in the NBA, you would like to see him be more aggressive. And the thing is, those reps that he gets are valuable because it's a chance to put him in a situation that he probably won't be in the NBA, because the situation he'll be in the NBA will likely cater more to his strengths and hide his weaknesses, where you can get the reps in now to try and develop a certain feel and understanding of those areas he might not be great at. And again, that's really my only concern, or really my only criticism with his tape. I'm not too worried about his struggles necessarily in terms of why he's not able to score as much, and I'll talk about that soon. But the thing for me is I'd rather see him be ultra aggressive and struggle than not aggressive and struggle. The concerning part for me is the fact that he's struggling while not being aggressive. I'd much rather see him go like 8 for 25 from the field, or go like 7 for 28 from the field. I'd rather see him struggle like that, and at least show that he's willing to try these things, than struggle and not be aggressive. The lack of aggression is what really concerns me, because the reason he's not able to score and he's struggling to score doesn't really shock me at all. If you watched him play in college and look at numbers beyond just the surface level ones, you should have known that he struggles as a finisher in self-creation scenarios, he doesn't handle physicality well, and he does struggle to create separation off the dribble. These are things he needs to work on. This is why I had him ranked behind Scoot Henderson as a prospect, because of that lack of self-creation ability. Regardless of that, if you are shocked that he struggled to finish at the basket or struggled to create for himself, that really tells me you didn't watch him play in college. And the thing is, those struggles are to be expected. It's not something that I'm too worried about in the grand scheme of, oh, he was good at this in college, now he's not. It's more of a thing of, yes, we knew this is what he struggled with, and he's struggling with it against better competition and better athletes in Summer League than he probably faced in college. Maybe not by much, but still better athletes, I would say. So, yes, he struggles in those areas. I'm not too worried about it in the sense of, we knew this about him. I would worry about this in terms of his upside and creation ability, because I think his ability to create offense, his ability to finish, those are the things that need to get better if he wants to live up, and the Hornets want him to live up to being that number 2 overall pick. But the thing is, it wasn't all bad for Miller either. I know he struggled, and I know you would want him to be better as a number 2 pick, but he really showed me stuff as a passer that I liked. He was really the only player I felt like was making an effort to find open teammates. He flashed some foul drawing ability that I was encouraged by as well, specifically in that first game. And I felt like he could grow in this area, and it's something that I want him to grow in because I think it would help him out as a finisher as he gets stronger. I loved his motor on the glass. I felt like he was engaged on that end of the floor. And he's an incredible three-point shooter. That's what he was marketed as. That's what made him a really good prospect. And I also liked his defensive activity. Some of it was far from perfect. Look at his foul rate. But I saw some of the signs that made him a high-level prospect. And overall, when I watched his tape, yes, there were struggles. Yes, there were things that I noticed in college that have translated struggle-wise to Summer League. And yes, I am a little concerned about his lack of scoring aggression early on. But I did see enough that made me confident in why I had Miller as a top 3 to 4 prospect in this class. Somebody that I think could have been a top 3 pick, even if I don't think that he should have been the number 2 overall pick. I'm still encouraged by his potential. And you should never overreact to Summer League to begin with. It's a super tough adjustment to make. You get drafted, and you have limited time to adjust. And in less than a month, you have to adjust to playing against pro-level physicality and playing with teammates you've known for a few weeks at the most. So struggles are pretty common among the incoming rookies. And I do think that was evident with Miller in an interesting way. Because again, the numbers on the surface don't look bad, but when you watch him play, he felt uncomfortable at times. I felt that was evident. He didn't know how to really fit in with that offense for the most part. And I do think as he gets more comfortable, he will play better. And I do expect him to play better in Vegas now that he's gotten some reps under his belt. Also, this Summer League team is just not ideal for Miller. Miller works best off of playing next to a playmaker. Where with this current Summer League roster, he probably is the best playmaker and passer on that roster, which isn't ideal. It doesn't help that basically every guard on that roster is focused more on scoring than passing. None of them have really made an effort to look for open shooters or cutters in both half-court and transition settings. So on its own, that's tough. But it's even tougher when you have that situation. And also, these guys haven't played or practiced together for that long. A lot of what I saw from Miller told me that he probably will look better in the NBA. Because in the NBA, it's going to be a different situation. He's not going to be the best passer or playmaker. That's going to be LaMelo Ball. And LaMelo Ball is one of the best playmakers in the league. And getting to play off of him will do Miller wonders. And it will open up opportunities for Miller, make looks easier for him. He'll get more open shots. They'll probably work him off ball more and make more of an effort to make him a part of the offense, which I haven't felt like they've done with the Summer League team so far. So really, if anything, all I'm learning is that the Hornets Summer League team isn't that ideal for Miller. And it's also very clear to me that based off the recent history that the Summer League team won't be close to what the NBA team will look like in Charlotte. I'm not too worried about Brandon Miller, I'll be honest with you. What happened in these two Summer League games really don't concern me. Everyone overreacts to Summer League. It's a basketball tradition at this point, especially with the top picks that struggle early. But for me, Miller's struggles line up with his struggles in college. And honestly, if you are shocked by what has happened in terms of why he's struggling to score, I think that you should probably go back and watch his college tape. Because anyone that watched his college tape knew that he was going to struggle with these things. And I do think, if anything, if you're going to focus on what to be concerned about, it should be the production. And the production speaks to him being uncomfortable with that current Summer League roster in terms of fit. I think it speaks to problems with that team more than him at times. But I do also think he could be more aggressive. And that's really my only concern with him, to be honest with you, is the lack of scoring aggression. He still showcases the three-point shooting that made him a hyped-up prospect. He still showcased the passing that was really encouraging throughout the year. He still showcased some of the defensive movement skills that I'm encouraged by, and the motor on the glass that I really liked. He's a tall perimeter wing that thrives as an off-ball scorer and suited while being a high-field connecting passer and point of attack defender. He's going to struggle when it comes to on-ball reps, both in Summer League and the NBA. It's what he struggled with in college, and that's probably going to be something he struggles with at the very least early on in his NBA career, and it's something that will need to get better if he wants to live up to being the number 2 pick. And I'm not saying that he can't. I do think it's definitely possible that he improves, but it's not a guarantee. Again, my one complaint with Summer League so far has been that lack of scoring aggression, and that really speaks more to the coaching staff than it does to him. The coaching staff isn't giving him on-ball reps, which they should, because they also can be potentially valuable reps in terms of development, and prioritizing the development of the top 2 pick on your roster should be the focus, rather than what they're doing now, because I don't know what they're doing right now. They have no process of X's and O's, no process of team communication or play sets, no process of trying to make a play for anyone. It's like they're just making the players try it on the fly and do what they want. It feels like they're doing nothing, which isn't ideal for Brandon Miller. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, so if that interests you, really think you enjoy this channel, and liking and subscribing are 2 best ways you can help me out. Help support the channel, helps me on the YouTube algorithm so more people find my videos, so in turn, help the channel grow so I get more content for you guys in the future. Let's try to get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Brandon Miller in the comment section below. Heads up, I have some pre-made content that's kind of recycling some older content and making it like one video type stuff over the next few days. I'm going to be in Vegas, so if you wonder why content isn't as frequent, I'm away. I'm at Summer League. I'm also having fun. So if you are going to Vegas, let me know if you want to meet up. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.